Now, today's movie has everything you want in a B movie Sasquatch movie. It has bad acting, a bad Sasquatch costume, terrible jokes. It has no nudity, though, some gore, and a giant monster at the end. And aliens. The movie, of course, I'm talking about is, of course, Frozen Sasquatch. And before you leave comments, I know Frozen Sasquatch is a Yeti. They call it a Yeti throughout the entire movie. I don't know why they didn't call it Yeti. Probably because there's another movie called Yeti. I don't name the movies, I just talk about them. We start this movie with a scientist saying the experiment has broken out, of course, acting badly, and it's killed everyone, and then his message breaks up. And then we go to a woman named Sheila meeting a guy named Jeff. At least if I remember right, his name is Jeff. His name may not be Jeff. I may be thinking about the guy on American Dad again. And they hug, and then we reveal that they broke up at one point. They're both being called to the guy they're working for, who introduces them to Jensen, and they're sending them and Jensen to the Himalayas to investigate this lab that they've lost contact with. First they'll go by plane, then they'll go by jeep, then they'll go by snowcat, then they have to walk. You'd think this base would have a train route, or a car route, or maybe a helicopter pad. I mean, you'd want supplies to get to this base somehow, not by monkey or donkey or ox or something like that. You get them horses or something. You won't make them walk for 2 days. But yes, they walk for like 3 days. And at one point they set up camp. And they only have one tent. But you'd think a big company would give them more than one tent. But yeah, they only have one tent. And the Sasquatch is stalking them. Now, in this movie, you get to see little things of Sasquatches killing people, various people throughout the movie. But it doesn't really have anything to do with the story. And you also get to see these people worshiping, I'm thinking Sasquatches, but I'm not sure. It really has nothing to do with the movie, but this is the Polonia Brothers movie, so I don't think it has to make sense. But eventually they get to the base, which was been left open, and they can't find anyone alive in it. But eventually they do find someone alive. She reveals her name is Megan, and that there was a Yeti there. And then they go to a lab and find a bunch of CDs. Well, I'm thinking they're DVDs because they got video on them. But the thing is, this movie was made in 2015, if I remember right. It might have been 2005. Sometime in there. So they hack into the main system, play the DVDs, to find out what all was going on. While Megan is crashed on the couch from her injuries to learn more about the experiments. Well, Jensen goes off to explore the base. The Sasquatch is still stalking them and breaks a window to get into the base to stalk them. They also find some guns, which they never use. While Jensen gets murdered, though he is kind of a nerd-looking guy. And they eventually find his body, well, Jeff does. And they find more information on this Sasquatch. That they were experimenting on him, that they had to keep him tied to a gurney, that they fed him meat, that he was an adolescent, or quite large, stuff like that. And that Megan was a geneticist, and she was running a specific experiment on him. Well, Jeff goes to find Jensen, who's now dead, from the Sasquatch. Megan turns into half Sasquatch, half human, and tries to kill Sheila. Sheila whacks her off with a metal pole and kills her. And Jeff comes back just in time to realize this and shoots her in the head. And then they go to try to escape after figuring out what's wrong, only to realize the Sasquatch is still there and after them. So they run from the Sasquatch for a while. Jeff hits him with a metal pole instead of shooting him with the gun he has for some reason. I don't explain these movies, people. They like their metal poles in this movie. Metal poles do the job. When you don't have a gun or you don't want to use the gun, use the metal pole. So they use the metal pole to beat the Sasquatch. And then they hide in the janitor's closet. And they run out just in time to see the Sasquatch again, but this time they electrocute him by tricking him into charging into the main power supply thing. And then they escape, only to find the Sasquatch's parent out there, mother or father, I'm not sure which one, they don't reveal it, who is huge, like as big as the building, who chases them. And then they find the Sasquatch's spaceship. That's right, the Sasquatch is from space. And they jump into the spaceship, and it's revealed that Sasquatch was stealing supplies to go back to space. Well, they electrocute the Sasquatch's parent, who then catches fire and the spaceship explodes, killing her. And then they're heading off to a cave where they find the other Sasquatch parent, who kills them. Well, apparently he kills them. We don't actually see them die, but it's kind of left vaguely that he kills them. And then we finally go back to the guy who called them in the office, watching the videos and realizing it was all a terrible mistake. And that is Frozen Sasquatch, people. The best B Sasquatch movie you will see probably whenever you watch it. It's not bad, it's just a B Sasquatch movie. I give it, I don't know, some stars. Go watch it. Go watch Frozen Sasquatch. It's on Tubi.